Hi, Sarah here with a process video for you today. I am going to be using the banana split bloom box as well as some Mind the Scrap goodies and a few extra mixed media bits from my crafty stash as well. So first off, I'm taking this Prima texture paste and stencil and I'm just going to create a bit of a background. This is going to be completely covered, give or take a few little bits here and there, but I always like to add lots of layers because you never know where there will be a little gap, and if you've added some interest in the background underneath, then it means that there's not going to be just a random big gap with nothing there underneath. So I like to build it up, and if it gets covered, it gets covered, and I'm not too fussed. I especially do this when I'm doing, like I am today, a 3D layout, which I make these to go into frames, and I either keep them and put them in my house, or they're also great as a gift because you can get those three-dimensional picture frames from Hobbycraft if you're in the UK, and quite often they're on sale, so I tend to give them as gifts to friends and family. So after I added that texture paste, I just added some gesso splatters and some of that distress oxide splatters because my main colour is going to be yellow, and then I just went through my older minor scrap supplies that I'm trying to get used up, as I'm getting the kit again from this month coming up, so watch out for the haul video for that. And I just grabbed all the things that are in monochromatic and yellow because those are the colours I wanted to use on this layout. I'm just using some more of that distress oxide. It's the same colour as in the spray, just to add a hint of yellow around that other card. And then because it's a floral layout, I wanted that nice leafy paper as well on the back. As you can see, I am adding extra layers in between. Those layers are just thin foam, and it just adds a bit of height between the layers without there being loads under one layer, and then you can just build it gradually, and it just sort of separates the layers, adds a bit more texture to things. And now I'm going to work on my title, and I'm not great at titles. Sometimes I think of something fun, it's usually something funny, but most of the time if it's just something sweet, then I'll just like a cute picture of one of my children. I like to use those one word or couple of word phrases like blessed or love this. So that's what I've done here. I used the wooden, again from Mind the Scrap, wooden wood veneer shape, are they? And I added some gesso to that so that I can work on that later. And now I've cut out a load of leaves which I'm going to paint gold. This is a Rainbow Moon watercolour. It is my favourite watercolour, and I'm using this instead of Heidi Swap gold colour shine as well, because with this it's got the same amount of shimmer when it's dry, but it doesn't end up tacky. It doesn't leave like a oily residue either, and also you can wipe it off photos if you're quick. Then you can get rid of it off photos, so you don't have to worry too much about that. So I'm going to add that to my leaves, which are watercolor paper, so they take to it. Got a bit more strength to them than just normal paper, so they probably just fall apart because they're quite delicate. And then I'm adding it to my title as well. I'm doing half yellow and half gold because the yellow's a bit too bright compared to my flowers that I'm going to be using. So the gold helps sort of mute it down a bit, and I've done a bit of a yellow into gold ombre effect with that. Next up, I'm going to, again, this is just for texture, most of it will be covered. I'm just adding some cheesecloth or gauze, depending what you call it, to my background. This time I'm using the Prima matte gel. I do apologise if you can hear my baby in the background. I've run away to do my voiceover and I think he's just noticed. So I'm just adding this matte gel to my background, and I know at the moment it looks really messy, but this stuff dries clear, and because it's matte it doesn't even leave that horrible shiny glue smear that you can get sometimes if you get glue in the wrong place, especially on black layouts. It tends to happen quite badly. So I've just added a little bit across there just to hold it down. There will be flowers going on top of it and the photos, so the whole thing will be really secure once it's all on there. and I added a thin layer to foam on the back of my photo as well. I only use a thin layer because otherwise it will buckle up all the paper. I've had it before where I've added a bit too much, and because it's thick, it does have an effect on the paper. You can go thicker if you're using a canvas, but not on scrapbook paper. So next up, I'm just adding a little bit to these leaves. I also added a little bit to the back of my title, and I realised that I'd done all my leaves painted on the same side so they don't go in different directions, so I just added some gold paint to the other side. And now I'm just adding those leaves in the background. Again, they'll get covered up quite a lot, but it's a matter of layering things up so that there's no random large gaps at the end of the project. So now I'm going to do a dry run of my flowers. I am going to go check on my baby. I will be back in 2 minutes. And he's okay. He's just being really loud. He's found his voice. He's doing all that screaming, all that sort of stuff. So I am adding my flowers now. I'm using those Tim Holtz scissors. They're really strong. I would not recommend using scissors that you use for, like, say, fussy cutting for this, because you don't want to ruin them, because I'm trimming off the wires from all my flowers. You could leave them on and twirl them round something thin like a toothpick to get that nice swirly stalk if you wanted to, but I just chopped all mine off. And then I built them up with the biggest flowers at the centre, but I wanted them lower down, hence why I moved them down a bit, and then just went thinner out to the edges, just mixing the colours. And now I'm just adding a dab of glue to each one. For the glue, I suggest you do not use anything that's too liquid, because it can seep into the flower rather than stick and then stain the flower. I'd go for like a gel, or some people use glue gun. I don't, because I am really clumsy. I'm not sure if it's archival safe or anything either, but I find that gel medium is really good. It gives you loads of wiggle room so that you can move your flowers around if you decide you're not happy, and there's plenty of time to move them around, because it does take a while to dry, but once it dries it's really solid. So it's good for this sort of home decor style layout where you don't want things moving, and obviously you don't want all your flowers to drop off if you're using the less dimensional flowers on a scrapbook layout. So that's my that's what I think about adhesives. So now I'm just going I've gone through my embellishments. I've just found things like yellow and gold. I'm just adding a few extra little details here and there. I love these gold hearts. They're from years ago, and I've still got just a couple left, so I'm using those up. I think I've only got hot pink ones left now, maybe a silver or two. So I'm just tucking them in here and there, just so it's not entirely just flowers. I think it's nice to add one or two other elements. And there's a little butterfly there as well, just to draw attention to the title and to blend in with the glitter that's elsewhere on the layout. And I'm just adding in the year here. This is because I've joined in the Mind the Scrap summer challenges, and one of the challenges to use numbers, so that is purely the only reason why I've added that. And I will do my journaling on the back of this, not on the front, because my handwriting's crap. end of story. That's why. So I'm just coming back in with some of the Little Rainbow Moon gold, handmade gold paint again, just to add a few splashes over the whole thing. I'm avoiding down that one side where it's completely still black, because I don't want it covered in splatters, because I think that would draw attention away from the bit that has got the colour on it. I think it makes it look a little more dramatic. And then I'm just controlling where I put some more here, just to add a few around the edges where I felt like it was too much of a straight line. And as you can see, it just mops off easy peasy, because it's not got mica powder or any stickiness to it. I think that is me done. So thanks for joining me today. I will link my group where you can purchase the flowers from. I don't have a shop or anything yet. It's just one of those little, small, very, very starter businesses. I'll also link Mind the Scraps group and shop, because there is the scrapbook challenges, which are brilliant for getting motivated during the holidays. And I'll also link the paints that I use, Little Rainbow Moon paints, because I think they're amazing. So I would definitely recommend them too. So thanks again for joining me. Do head on over to my group where I have a competition to win some free flowers. You can win one of these boxes. You choose your own colours. So yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Bye!